Today, I want to talk about tier 17 map farming. This strategy is pretty straightforward and essentially very by the books. Yesterday on stream, I was attempting to do some 8 modded glaciers. I wanted to do some 8 modded city squares, and I was exploring and pretty much experimenting with the Anarchy Rogue Exile strat, and I needed more maps. I had run out of maps, and I asked Twitch chat and YouTube chat, and I said, hey guys, like, I need 8 modded maps. Is the best way to buy them, or is the best way to farm them? And essentially, all of you guys have told me that the best way to get 8 modded maps is to farm them myself. You guys gave me a strategy pretty much that's cookie cutter that everybody seems to be doing, and I went out and tested it. I know Arrow was doing it the other day on stream. I think MP has a video on it. I'm pretty sure Rue does the same thing. So pretty much everybody's doing essentially the 8 modded map farm to generate their own 8 modded maps. When I tested it yesterday and I ran it, I did 2 tier 17 maps, and I had more 8 modded maps than I knew what to do with after just running 2 maps. It was completely crazy and insane. I had asked, is this something I can possibly do on tier 17 maps? The overall response was, you only can do it on tier 17 maps, don't try it on 16s. And I said, okay, cool, so walk me through it. So you guys gave me an atlas, you guys pretty much told me what to do. I tried it on stream, it worked out great, and now I'm making this for you to walk you guys through what I was taught how to do. So essentially, we're going to be doing tier 17 maps because it's the best way to do this. And I know somebody's gonna be like, oh my God, tier 17 maps. What about 16? I was told it's not as good as 16, but we'll save 16 for after we showcase the 17, and we'll talk about 16s in a little bit. Now, tier 17 maps are very unique in a sense. They have a modifier on it called more maps. Essentially, this will drop you more maps, and it can roll a wide range of numbers, 0%, 10%, 20%, 100%, and it can go even higher. You want to take a map and roll it for at minimum 100%. When I rolled this map, this is what it looked like for 100%. Unfortunately, it has reduced action speed. I know a lot of people with a lot of builds can't do this, my build included, and it's unfortunate. What you do is you take your map, you roll your map, and eventually you'll find a tier 17 map that you can run, and you can run comfortably and make sure it has the more map modifier on it. The biggest downside to tier 17 maps is having to roll them towards your build, and sometimes it takes a little bit of extra chaos, but you'll see in a second, running one of these maps will generate more 8 modded maps, and the headache of running the 17 map is better than the headache of trying to regex your map in third-party platforms with people who don't want to obviously look at your regex. But let's talk about it. Tier 17 maps also have a large number of modifiers on the map, and it scales really well with the scarab of escalation that says 10% increased maps found in an area for each map modifier affecting the area. We're going to be pairing this with non-unique maps in the area or 8 modded corrupted, and we're going to be pairing this with 8 to 12 additional packs of rewarding monsters that have 300% drop chance for maps. These 3 scarabs combined with a tier 17 map that has quality on it, and Delhi can give you a large number of maps. Now, if Delhi's too difficult for you, you don't need to add it. I've seen people not doing Delhi. Delhi's just an extra amount of quant added to your map. So if you can do it, great. If not, it won't really affect things too much. It'll still be really, really, really nice. As far as our Atlas tree goes, our Atlas tree is pretty straightforward. Because we're doing 17s and because we're looking for map effect modifiers, we're going to take all of the map modifier nodes that we can get. We're going to take all of the nodes that increase the chance of our map becoming 1 tier higher. We want as high of a chance to get tier 16 maps, because currently in the state of the game, a lot of maps are dropping at all different tier levels, and we want to push them as high as we can and as close to 16 as we can. We're taking Beyond because Beyond are just extra monsters that we can kill and have more chance at dropping loot. And we're taking Shrines because Shrines are really nice. Shrines also have an additional packs of monsters that they're guarded by. Pretty much just more looks at more loot. Also, Shrines give us increased effects on our character, makes this tier 17s a little bit easier. We'll be taking all of the nodes that'll give you all of the extra quantity of, items that can drop, all of the map effect modifiers, a little extra Beyond to get some more div cards, more map modifiers, and a couple of scarab nodes. If you're going to change anything and you think some of this is a little too difficult, nodes that I would drop would be the Beyond. I would definitely drop the Beyond, and I would drop some of the scarab nodes. If you're looking for nodes to add and different things to experiment with, if I were to drop these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 points. If I were to drop roughly 18 points, I would put them all into strong boxes, and I would change these scarabs probably for strongbox scarabs. I don't know what the best way to do this is yet. We'll experiment and talk about that in a second, and I'll showcase that in a 16. Now, this map to some of you guys would be a little difficult and unrunnable. You'll say the reduced action speed is really annoying. I'll show you guys a cool little trick. On my Atlas, I actually have socketed in right now a Balance of Terror for temp chains. Essentially, I can just cast temp chains every couple of seconds and be immune to that map mod. So I can run this relatively easily. Now, if I had more chaos, I could roll the map and show you guys how to do that. So let's go grab some more chaos really quick. We'll come on over to the exchange. We'll pop this in really quick. We'll buy some chaos, and we'll talk about rolling the map. Now, rolling tier 17 maps is a little bit of pain. And yes, I know it is a non-enjoyable part of the game, but the fact that I can look for very specific things like more scarabs, more maps, more quantity, more pack size, more basic quant, more rarity, it's pretty incentivizing to attempt to have at least one character or push your character to be able to do the most basic of tier 17 maps. 17s in themselves, yes, they can be very difficult. Yes, they can be very annoying, but you can eventually get to the point where you roll a map that's relatively somewhat simple and somewhat straightforward. This map a little bit easier than the other map. Granted, fizz damage reduction is kind of bad. Monster attack speed's okay. Random shrine buff, whatever. But you should really spend some time when you're making your 17s and rolling them to look at the different map mods and essentially just kind of find something that isn't anywhere near as bad. This map, relatively easier compared to some of the other ones. So we'll run this one. You see this one has a 57% pack size, 100% more maps, a little bit of currency on it, some item quantity. The only thing that we really care about is the fact that it has more maps on it. More maps is the really big important part. You see, we were actually running the scarabs for the rogue exiles. So we're going to put this map in. We're going to make sure that we're on the correct Atlas because I messed this up multiple times yesterday. And we're going to be taking domination. The reason we're taking domination, as I was explaining it a little while ago, is because we have shrines on the map. Shrines are doing two major important things. One, they're making our maps relatively easier by giving us bonuses that'll affect our character. And two, they're adding extra packs of monsters to the map that give us more looks at loot. It just pretty much just makes things relatively easier if you manage to get to a shrine and click a shrine and the shrines kind of scale on top of each other. Now, I have a wildwood. I'm going to save you guys the hassle. I'm not going to run the wildwood just for time's sake, and we're just going to go through the map and take a look at how many tier 17s that we get. Oh, actually, really cool, really interesting thing I just thought of. You know, when you open a map, did you know that you can actually change the map that you're dropping while you're in a map, and it'll retroactively update? So like, I was originally farming city squares and I want some 8 modded defiled cathedrals from map runners. Did you know that you can do this? Wait, is there serious bubbles on the ground? Did I mess this up? Wait, no. Oh my God. Wait, did I take serious thingies? Oh no, am I gonna die? See, chat, don't be like me. Read. Oh, it does have the serious things on it. Dang it. It's like my least favorite map mod. This is what you get for yapping. Oh, look, see, we got my map already. Nice. We got 2 maps. See? Awesome. We're like 10 seconds into this map. We've already gotten 2 maps. Beautiful. There we go. Grab that. Come over here. Kill some more mobs. And this is going great. Excuse me. Okay, there's another map. And you can see pretty much maps are just already raining down from the sky. The hardest thing with 17s is literally going to be the ability for characters to clear them. But, you know, Path of Exile is a game that really rewards you for making characters designed for certain tiers of content. I know a lot of people like all-arounders, and there are a lot of really good all-arounders out there that can do the most basic of 17. It takes a little bit of investment. Now, There is a world where you actually can make good profit doing this if you look at different websites like, you know, anything like Wealthy Exile or any website that'll track your currency. There is a way to sell 8 modded maps, and you know, there are things like TFT and stuff like that. You can use the actual trade website, and you could indeed just sell your 8 modded maps, and they sell relatively well. You can actually get 10, 15, 20 C for an 8 modded map, depending on how well it's rolled. If it's got a lot of quality or quantity on it, if it's got good pack size, there's all kinds of different factors that you guys can do some research on that are really, you know, jack up the value of an 8 modded map. Oh, that one went 8 modded. Oh, look, 8 modded on ID corrupted. Ooh, nice. There we go. Oh my God, look at them all. This is great. My map runners are gonna be set for all day. I'm literally doing this for map runners so that I can give them to my map runners. That's why I picked the Defiled Cathedral. And you can see we're just getting maps on maps on maps on maps on maps. Now, I'm not too worried about the other loot in the map, because, you know, I would be picking it all up, but to save you guys time while I'm doing this, I'm just going to be grabbing all the 8 modded maps that fall. And I just wanted to showcase just how much or how many maps you can get from doing this and why it's so strong. You see, we pretty much already have like half an inventory full of maps. This is going insanely well. How many do we have already? Got 5, 10, 15, 20, 21 maps, 23, 24 maps. We have 24 maps already, and we haven't even finished this map yet. I've heard players who have ruled their maps a little bit higher and a little bit more difficult than the way that I've rolled the maps right now, and they've gotten 120, 130, 140, 150% more maps, and they've dropped as many as 40 or 50 maps inside of a map. So if you like take the time to really roll your map and really invest in them, you know, looking for that, you know, more map modifier node that's higher, you can get a lot, and I mean an absolute ton of maps to drop for you. So you do this one time, you do 1 or 2 maps, you have enough 8 modded maps to, you know, last you for a good session, maybe 2. Or if you're like me and you have a little bit of like, you know, squirrel syndrome of jumping around strats, you'll have some maps, you'll do a little bit, you'll swap to something else, you have some more maps. Or you run this 2, 3, 4 times, and then you have a couple hundred maps. You don't even have to worry anymore, and you go about your day. Bada bing, bada boom. Everything's simple, set in stone, good to go. Every time I do this farm and I get all these maps, it's absolutely great. Now, I have accidentally clicked altars. I have accidentally bricked my maps before. It is unfortunate. It happens. As you've seen in this one, I haven't gotten any altars for some reason, and you know, you don't even need the altars, man. You just clear the maps, just get the maps. We're not looking for anything. Unfortunately, it is a little bit costly to do this strategy. Yes, I'll agree. 17s can be a little pricey. They're pretty annoying, and the only real way that you pay back the map in itself is if you either A, kill the map boss, or get, you know, some number of loot inside the map that will really cover the cost of the map. Now, in our case, I had mentioned here that 8 modded maps are worth a pretty penny. You can sell them relatively well if you take the time to invest to be an 8 mod map farmer and seller, and you can get about 10 C a map, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on the map, depending on what layout it is, and you can get, you know, a pretty penny. If we factor in every map at 10 C, you have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 right here, 200, 300, 340 C, which is, you know, it's pretty good and relatively almost covers the cost. I think it actually covers the cost of everything. I think that covers the cost of everything. 4060, and that's, you know, without killing the map boss. Oh, look, there's another map. Nice. Just make sure if you do this strat that you don't roll the the awakeners things on the ground. That was my fault. Just roll over that. That was my bad on that one. But yeah, you can make a pretty penny doing this. Now, if you are able to kill the map boss, or you're able to have a friend come in and kill the map boss, you can get fragments off the map boss. A lot of the map fragments are really expensive, and they're usually how you cover the cost of the map. The easiest tier 17 map to do is Fortress. That's why I'm showcasing Fortress today. Fortress is pretty straightforward. A lot of my friends have said that when doing this map farming strategy, they've had the best results on Fortress. due to all kinds of factors. And I'm pretty sure they said it had barrels that naturally spawn that can drop the maps that are really good. It's got a nice, number of mobs. It's a nice closed in layout for a good variety of builds. The map boss in itself is relatively simple. The downside of the fortress is it doesn't drop good fragments. You see, we got Awakener's fragments. It's more towards Sirius. But then again, Sirius is pretty expensive. These fragments are 8 to a divine. The Awakener's orbs are really expensive. I don't know if you knew that, but Awakener's orbs are really, really, really expensive. But yeah, overall, did I put a map away? I didn't. Okay. Overall, you can see we did this one map and we walked out of here at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 36 maps just from doing one map. Now, are these regexable for you? I don't know. Are they regexable for me? I don't know. But the fact that you managed to get 36 maps is pretty crazy. Now, the scarabs in themselves aren't too expensive and too pricey. The biggest cost is going to be the tier 17 map. These scarabs in themselves, in terms of everything at the time of recording, the basic cartographer scarab are about 100 to a divine. The scarab of multitudes are about 13 to a divine. And the scarab of corruption is about 15 to a divine. So I don't know what that breaks down to in chaos cost, but it looks like it's 10, 20, 30, 39, 40, roughly 40 to 50 C in scarabs, plus the map, plus the cost of rolling the map. So you're looking at like a divine. Is it a divine or tier 17 is a divine right now? Or close to a divine? How much tier 17 unidentified fortresses? 100 chaos. So you're looking at 200 C. So how much is a divine? Divines are 140. My God, I just sold the divine on the exchange for 150. Don't ignore that brain thought. That's for later. So yeah, you're looking about like a divine and some change to farm yourself 40 maps. If that cost scares you, or that seems out of reach, or that's not something you want to do, then yes, by all means, go out and buy the maps yourself, regex them, and you'll quickly realize that 15C a map or whatever the current regex price is probably insane. Now, we talked about tier 16 maps, and we talked about using these same scarabs in 16s. I am going to grab a 16, and we're going to run a 16, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like on a 16. Now, when you do 16s, you're not going to get anywhere near as many maps that you would have gotten if you were to just run this normally on a tier 17. So now we have this nice tier 16 map. We've chiseled it. It's got 6 mods on it. I don't know if it'll go 8 modded. I'm not going to corrupt it and risk it going 8 modded, but we're going to run a 16 nicely rolled, and we're going to take a look at how many maps we get and what the overall difference is. And then we'll talk about ways that possibly could make this better. And the reason I'm doing this and taking the time to do this is to showcase to you guys that 17s are really important, and you really want to spend the time utilizing the tier 17 maps, because if you're going to do this strat and you're going to spend the money, the only way that 16s relatively make it worth it, from what I've been told, is by dropping tier 17 maps. So you see, dropping the one tier 17 map pretty much pays for the whole thing. I guess we got really lucky there. And of course, as soon as I say something, we farm and get a nice little map. Now, 16s in themselves, the difficulty is going to be a lot less, and you're going to be able to pretty much just blow through these maps, no problem at all. There's one. That's nice. There we go. Make sure we kill all the monsters. We want to not miss any of those packs of rewarding map monsters that can give us those juicy map drops. Okay, looks like we got everything there. Grab my little stack deck to gamble later. There's another map there. See, look at that. We missed a mob and it dropped us our map pool. I don't think you need to kill every single mob on 16s, but I think if you're going to invest, you got to make sure that you at least get the map, get a good majority of them. You really, don't want to be leaving the possibility for any corrupted maps behind, especially with the price that you're paying to set these all up. There's another one. Okay. We'll click this. We'll get the ore while we're at it. Okay. Nothing over there. Everything looks good over here. There's another one. Nice, looking good. I do want to try to get at least some number of maps out of this, but you see right away the difference is crazy in the amount of maps that you're getting compared to, you know, how we did this on 16. I do think there is a way to make this more valuable and more lucrative, and I'm not sure it's going to work out as well as I would like, but we will indeed talk about it. Now, Beyond so far hasn't been the most, what's the word that I want to use? Beyond's kind of like one of those things that I feel like is on the map and on the atlas, and like you're hoping it does something, but sometimes it feels like it doesn't do something. I do like Beyond. I do like the currency that drops from Beyond. I do like all the cool things that Beyond has the ability to give you, like changing currencies. Sometimes Beyond, like I said, makes the map a little too difficult and a little lackluster. If you're feeling that and you're not liking Beyond, like I said, you can easily get rid of Beyond and it won't be a problem. Now you see we did this map. We only got 5 maps. Feels absolutely bad. And you're a little sad about it. And no, I mean, that's why we do 17s. Now, if I were to attempt to make this a little bit better, and this is untested, I do not know if this will work. I will leave you this to you guys, for you guys to try and test and let me know. If I were to redo this and make this specifically for tier 16, what I would do personally is I would take these out. I would put these in so that we have 15 strong boxes. We have more maps dropping, and we have corrupted 8 map modifiers. And what I would do then is I would take out these points here, because Beyond XDD. I would take out these points here because this, and then I would take out probably these scarab nodes and probably these scarab nodes. What I would do then, I would grab the box nodes here. I would attempt to grab, well, we don't need this point. We can do this point, the box nodes here. And then I would grab the box nodes. Is this one it? Maps to be duplicated. I would grab these nodes here, and that would leave me with 7 points to pretty much experiment and put them wherever my heart desired. Now, do I know if this is better or worse? I do not know. Actually, you actually get 9 points that you could put around and do whatever you want with. I don't know if this will be better. I don't. I couldn't honestly tell you. It's a thought. It's a theory. It could end up working out really well, and you could experiment. The upside to doing it this way in 16s is you're going to get a lot more boxes. These scarabs are relatively cheaper compared to these scarabs, so you get, you know, more bang for your buck. The upside to these scarabs is they guarantee you rewarding monsters that increase map drops, but this gives you overall increased loot. I would still do the tier 16s as hard as possible, and if I were to be clicking anything on the map device, I would be choosing ambush for more strong boxes. Essentially, the idea in 16 is to take advantage of the fact that you're getting more strong boxes and that they have the chance to be cartographer boxes. I don't know if this is the best way to do it. This is just an idea. This is something that is relatively untested. And if you guys want to explore this option and avenue and test it and leave a comment and let me know if it worked for you, that'd be awesome. Like I said, it's just, if you're going to do it, you should really try to do it in 17s. It's honestly the best bang for your buck. But I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh my God, please, I need something in 16s. So I want to give you options and something that may or may not work for you. But for now, friends, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go reset my atlas for 17s, and I'm going to go do another set of those maps because I want to get more maps from my map runners. And yeah. But if you found this video, you know, enjoyable and you liked everything that you see today, don't forget to like, a comment, hit that share button, do all the fun stuff that YouTube would appreciate you for. And guys, I'll see you all in the next one.